Hey everybody, welcome back to MTG Spec. My name is Tom, and today I wanted to talk about Rarity. Not the My Little Pony pony. I just got this today. This is the Love Your Local Game Shop card for the year, the Soul Ring, with the retro frame and all that stuff. It's really cool. It's got a little swoosh. Look at that. But it reminded me, because of its golden rarity symbol, just how, sorry, I have it in a swanky Charizard sleeve for no reason. But yeah, it reminded me that rarity is kind of a joke in Magic, kind of worthless. Or at least it's mostly abstract at this point. Sort of a general indicator of actual rarity, but rarity is completely divorced from print run information, which is the true determiner of whether a card is rare. And you would need way more than just common, uncommon, rare, and mythic rare symbols to actually truly represent the vast strata of rarity. You would need like 15 rarities to figure that out, and to really indicate just how dirt cheap or common card should be. So since we started with Soul Ring, this is one of the few cards that has been reprinted umpteen million times, and yet it still has an extremely valuable version, this Masterpiece Edition, which was one of its two physical versions at Mythic. The other one was the From the Vault Relics. But this card has been common, rare, and mythic rare. Then we have Mishra's Factory. This Winter Factory isn't much more rare than the other Antiquities Factories, but it'll sell for $300-400, whereas the others maybe 1 to 2 for the most part. And this is one that had rare and uncommon printings. Although you really have to question something like a dual deck or a pre-made commander deck. If there's only one of these printed, like this was reprinted in the dual deck. What was it, Elizabeth versus Tezzeret or something like that? Anyway, it was printed in a dual deck as a one-off, and so was the foil alternate art Planeswalker, who was like the captain of the deck. But which one's more rare? They're the exact same rarity. It just doesn't. There's no difference between the two. It's a fixed. Whenever you have a fixed product and it's a one-off item in it, that's one of the weird things about the collector edition. From the original Magic with the square border, or the square, the square cards shape that people used to like to reface and sell off as like original alpha beta. Those cards, a pure lace or a death lace or a life lace or a chaos lace or a thought lace, any of those awful rares have the exact same rarity as Black Lotus in that set. So they should, if rarity meant anything, they should be roughly the same value. But of course, there's many other factors. Let's go to Lightning Bolt. That's one that has a strange. There's been, I guess, so far just the one or two rare editions of it. Although this was another one that was strange, because this was a Secret Lair where there were 4 different versions and they're all rare. It's like, well, what does that mean? What does that even mean? But this was a card that was printed at common, uncommon, and rare. Here's Finn Hornell's. That one was printed at common, then mythic rare, then common in terms of physical printings. Some of these other things are like Magic Online nonsense. But like in Ice Age, it was common, and then it was chosen for one of the From the Vault series, the From the Vault 20, because it was the card that was used in one of the years in a tournament winning deck And so from the Vault 20 had 20 cards, one from each year of Magic's history and something significant. So this is what they picked. They could have picked Llanowar Elves just as easily, but this one had only had one printing, and it does the exact same thing. And then it came back in Commander Legends as a common again. Like, what does that really tell you about the card? I don't know. Then we have Emperor Crocodile, which had a really horrific downgrade. This went from rare to rare to rare to common. And after a card like this is turned into a common, does it ever really go back? You know? Which brings me to Double Masters, everybody's favorite. Double Masters. Just look already. So I started the top of the page here. But there are so many downgrades. I think this guy was rare. That guy started as a mythic rare. Like, there are so many cards. This was a rare. A very disappointing one, I might add, from the cons block. Because anything that wasn't a fetch land was disappointing in that block. God, what else? I mean, it's like this was, I thought that was uncommon, Sensor Splicer. But, you know, there are a lot of cards in this set. I'm not necessarily going to go through the whole thing, but I do remember seeing a lot of different cards that had just got downshifted. Well, of course, Mana Drain started as an uncommon and then was neglected for 20 years and then came back as a mythic. And that's probably never going back to uncommon again. What are the other things? Let's just flip through for a little bit. Because I know, Imperial Seal, that was, I mean, Mythic didn't even exist when that first existed, but bear in mind that everything from Portal 3 Kingdoms basically had an alpha print run rarity. So even commons of that are effectively mythic rares. This is an interesting card. Even though it's common and every printing of it's common, because it requires basically any number of them in a deck to be effective. So in other words, you need probably like 6 of them at least, probably more. Because you need so many copies, it's effectively a high-end uncommon in practice. Let's see what else we got here. I'm probably missing some of these that were downgraded at some point. But you get my drift. Well, there's a lightning bolt. Okay, we're back up to uncommon again. I think it was common the very set before, wasn't it? No, maybe it was uncommon in Baldur's Gate. Let's see. Is there any others? I know there are more. You know what? Let me scroll all the way down to. I remember the multicolored area was rife with these. So let's see. What was one? Okay, Bounty of the Luxa. That was rare, pretty sure. Burning Tree Emissary was uncommon. Child of Alara started off as mythic rare. Crackling Doom was rare. Doran the Siege Tower, by all rights, he first appeared in Lorwyn, but he should be mythic rare. Drogskull Reaver was mythic rare. Imperial Archangel was mythic rare, I think. Pretty sure. These guys were higher than normal rarity. I think they may have even been mythic rare, but these were buy a box only cards, so this is actually the first time they've been in print. Let's see. Hydroid Krasis, another that I believe was mythic rare. Is It Charm was uncommon. So you can see virtually every card in this set has been downgraded. Like, not virtually every, but like huge amount of the cards. Lawless Troll, that was rare. Anyway, it goes on. I have no idea how many they actually downgraded, but it's pretty stunning actually, because this is double masters. This is a product where you're already getting 2 rares plus possibly 2 mythic rares, or 2 foil rares rather. But they also decided to basically spam the uncommon slot with rares too. They're just not calling them rares. But due to the number of printings they've had in the past, Lawless Troll was from Ravnica, Return to Ravnica, I think. And then it really hasn't had very many printings since then, maybe 1 or 2 commander printings. It's pretty wild. But, what does rarity mean? When you look at something like this, like that says it's a rare, it's like, is it? Like, is it really? I don't know. All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys later. You have a good one.